welcome back. And we're moving into our final segment for this morning where we will give you a reason to hold on to your smartphone today, right? So if anybody's been complaining, whether you're a student and your parents want you to put it down, or whether your friends, coworker, whoever it is telling you to put it down, you can pick it up for this segment, right?
For this one
so
segment.
We're talking about cool apps that help with productivity. And so we've invited owner of TG Marketing Solutions, Tomas Gongora, to join us to tell us a little bit more. So you're a techie, right? Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Definitely consider myself a techie and a productive person, as you mentioned.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing, Thomas. You wear many hats, but this is actually one of the things that you have been doing for a long time, which is marketing, digital marketing, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the greatest debates is that we spend too much time on our electronics.
Yeah.
You know, parents are worried for the kids. We as adults feel like we're addicted. And the truth is, there's good and bad with everything, right?
Correct. Well, I've been around marketing for a while now. I think I'm moving into like probably my 17th or 18th year as a professional marketing contractor. And one of the things that I've definitely seen over time is a shift in technologies. You know, technology has enabled us to be more productive on the go. And if you're someone like myself who has several things going on at any given time, it makes life a lot easier for me. So I'm one of those people who, you know, if my mom was alive today, she would say, I spend too much time on my phone. But the truth is, you know, 75% of the time, I'm doing something productive.
Yeah.
And creative apps like the ones we're going to talk about have allowed for that to be possible. When combined with the right, you know, equipment and so on, you can get anything done, you know, in light speed. Like I mentioned to you guys earlier, while I was waiting in the green room, I was editing a video for Marshall. And, you know, half an hour after I leave from here, that video will be uploaded, and you'll see, you know, how quick you can edit a video on the go these days.
But hold on, but you know, when it comes to editing videos, a lot of folks would think, you know what, I need a computer to do such thing. So,
well, those days...
You had your computer in a green room?
No, I didn't. As you can see, I have my phone in my hand.
That's what you use.
And this is what business is like these days for me. My phone is basically glued to my hands all the time, except if I'm actually using the computer. In which case, I have it synced with the computer.
Sweet.
So I'm checking my WhatsApp on my computer. You know, so I don't have to pick up the phone for that time.
Yeah.
But the fact is that there's so many powerful apps out there. Some that you have to pay for, obviously, but it's usually a minimal fee. For $5, you can have a professional video editing app on your phone.
And that enhances your business.
And it enhances your business. It enhances your capabilities, the range of products that you can offer, the range of services that you can offer.
But how can we get, because while technology changes nearly every day, for some folks they might say, you know what, I can't catch up to that, I can't keep up to that. How do you keep yourself upbeat, like for somebody, you know, as yourself, who is a marketing professional, technology-wise? Okay. One of the things that I do is I subscribe to certain websites. One that comes to mind is Gizmodo, Gizmodo. If you subscribe to websites like that, they do the hard work for you. They will check out the apps and do the reviews, and they will put their review out and tell you, this is something you need to have. If you're a professional marketer, you need to have this. If you are a business person trying to sell a product, you should have this. So in my case, many of the apps we're going to touch on have to do with marketing, obviously. But I do have a couple that I'm going to suggest for students as well, because obviously students are pretty much glued to their phone all the time now.
Yeah, you're so right. And you know, I keep on telling people, trying to fight technology is just wasted time and energy. You gotta just find how you can make it work for you. Even in this business, you know, we have, not in Belize as much, but in other parts of the world, there are reporters who all they work with is their cell phone. Record their stories with proper audio, edit on a phone, and will output right then and there. So it is something that is making life a lot easier, but we also want it to be we also want to be as productive as possible. So that's what we're talking about today.
And technology, sorry to cut you off, but technology again has made it so easy for in that instance, you know, there's professional microphones that you can plug right in.
Plug right in,
and stuff like that. So I mean, there's no...
And your tripod or your selfie stick, which also works as well.
Into your cell phone.
And the camera on a cell phone is so good. Sometimes you don't need a professional camera.
That's true.
The only thing you can't get is lenses.
It's funny you mention that, is that you know, once you keep up to date, obviously it is an investment to keep upgrading your phone as better phone become available. But that's one of the things that I've made up my mind that is going to be necessary for my business. If I get not the latest phone, but if I keep up to date with which phones have the best cameras and so on, I can be doing things and without having to carry around 50 pounds of equipment all the time. Case in point, I was doing official photography for the Marshall concert, and I was on stage, and some instances I was literally just videoing with my phone. I had my assistant, she was running around with my camera because we need to get different angles, but I had some points where I was videoing with just my phone.
Just your phone.
Yeah.
So later on today I'll start putting out little snippets and so on, and you'll see the quality of videos that you can get just off a cell phone these days.
Wow.
All right. So let's talk about the apps that we have, that you've found for us. Let's start off with the school ones, because I think parents are probably the ones that need the most convincing that kids can hold on to the tablet and phones.
Okay, well, there's a couple of apps that came to mind when I was asked about students, and one of them to me is the Microsoft Office Lens, which can work for both students as well as professionals in the field out there.
Okay.
Office Lens is simply an app that allows you to scan anything, and it looks like a scanner scanned it. So I can hold my phone up to any document, and it'll outline the document on the phone.
Yeah.
And once you hit the snap, it snaps it and it pops up on your screen.
Like a scanned document.
Like a scanned document. Here you can see the previews. Look,
Wow.
there's a difference, right?
Fantastic.
So if you go back to the previous one, you'll see it's just it's a receipt, but sometimes, you know, you need to, maybe it's a deposit slip you need to send to someone,
Yeah.
or a purchase order or something like that. You highlight it, hit the little snap button there, next, bam.
Bam. Now that's the way it looks.
And that's it. It comes out like a scanned
Like a
document.
Is there
document.
a cost to this app?
This is a free app.
This is
Wow.
a free app.
Yeah.
Does it put a trademark on it or a brand on it?
It does not.
Oh, nice.
It's basically just something that Microsoft put out there for you to be able to use in collusion with their other apps, because sometimes you need to just...
This is awesome. I'm switching. I use Camscanner, but it depends if I save it as a PDF.
Yeah.
And it puts the...
This one gives you the option to save directly to your gallery, or you can literally share it straight out of the app into WhatsApp, Facebook, Gmail, wherever you want it to go. You can literally scan it and send it right away, no wasting time. And the reason I said this is great for students is, for example, you know, if you need to, you just want to take a snap of maybe a test paper or something just to go and review.
Yeah.
And
you
stuff
have
like
to copy. Sometimes you have to copy stuff all the time as well.
And does it actually compile for you? And the reason why I'm asking this is because back in the day, they used to always tell us, you know what, as a student, make sure that you've got your a grade book. So while you've got a grade book now, you actually have the apps that you could take a picture of it. It actually scans for you. So you've got everything compiled. And at the end of the semester, you know where you stand.
Yes. What this will actually do is, if you save to your gallery on some phones, like my phone, it goes into a certain folder in my gallery. So it goes straight into a Office Lens folder. And I can just go there and just check out all my scans without having to flip through other photos and stuff like that.
Nice.
So
There you
really
go.
So Office Lens.
So Office Lens, Microsoft.
And I didn't know.
Microsoft Office Lens. And then the other one, let me just double check the name real quick to make sure I had it right. The other one was Timetable. Yeah, it's one word. I'll show you which one. The first one right there, yeah. So
Another free app.
yeah, and this one is free as well. I think all the ones that I'm going to talk to you about today are free, so
Okay.
it makes it even more beautiful, right? So Timetable, it's a very intuitive app that helps students to remember their classes, because, you know, if you're going to junior college especially, or university, your schedule can be so different on any given day, and you know, so this will basically send you reminders, if you set it to, on what classes that you have, and then I think you can input notes in terms of what homework that you have and stuff like that. So here's the, you know, your school schedule, so without having to keep on going back to a piece of paper that you get when you're registering, or without having to keep on going back to maybe you used the Office Lens to scan that same thing. This is actually better than that in terms of keeping up with your schedule and so on. So very useful for students. I recommend it for any student from high school upwards.
The big question is, because we know for a fact that yes, internet is nearly everywhere, but some folks are not privy to internet. Now, do you need, after scanning this, do you need to have internet on your phone so you can work these apps?
No, with this particular app, With Office Lens, you don't need internet. You only need internet for that to share. For this one, you don't need any internet. It's literally, it's just on your phone. It's intuitive. It can also go on your tablet.
Give you all the reminders and all that.
Yeah, and you can set it to give you reminders and all sorts of stuff. So, see, there's a reminder about homework, and you can input it and then check off if it's been done. And you know, it really helps you to keep up to date.
Wow.
It rivals many apps that professionals use, like Evernote and that kind of thing, to keep up to date with their meetings and their daily schedule and so on. But this one is specific to students.
Nice.
Right.
So, especially, you know, and I think it will help them with time management as well, and perhaps additional reminders that they need to perhaps bring something to class or turn in a homework.
Yep, everything.
And I'm glad you're able to share for the fact that student and parent could eventually share. So parent get the reminder to remind the student.
You can do that as well. Can you go back to the last screen, please? I just want to point out one thing there. It also comes with a widget, so you can literally just have that right on the home screen of your phone.
Yeah.
So if you're like me, I use widgets on my phone a lot. I can literally just double tap my screen and my favorite widget comes up, which in my case would be my calendar. In a student's case, it could be timetable.
Their timetable.
And it tells you today's Wednesday. Here's what you're got going on today: chemics, geography, history.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
All right. So there we talked about some of the apps that you can get the children to use, and I love that. And you know, you can even share it with your parents so they can know what you're doing on any given day.
Yep, correct.
Or what classes you have. Now, there are some other productivity apps that you wanted to share today, right?
Well, before I go into these apps, I just want to mention why I use these particular apps, right? By trade, I'm a graphic designer. That's what I always wanted to do. That's what I grew up doing from I was a teenager.
Thing, graphic design.
That's my thing, graphic design. So I needed to find a way, once I became very busy with other things, to still be able to at least do some sort of good editing and stuff on my phone. So I went and I did some research. I found this app, Aviary. It's actually spelled Aviary at the top. This is not the one I'm referring to. No. It's Aviary.
Aviary.
Aviary. There you go.
That's it. The first one.
So it looks similar, but okay, I guess it is that one. Sorry. All right, so click on it. Yeah. So Aviary is an app made by Adobe. It's under Aviary Inc. there on the Play Store, but it was recently bought over by Adobe. And Aviary is a professional grade photo editing app for your phone or your tablet. And I found this app, I fell in love with it because many of the things that Aviary does is basically what I do when editing photos in Photoshop. It allows you not necessarily to do graphics in the sense of creating logos and that sort of thing, but it does have innately a lot of different graphics, like what's on the screen there.
Yeah.
But the main purpose that I use it for is editing photos. So I might take a lot of photos on my phone, but you know, maybe I come across one where it's like, oh, I want to share this one, but it's a little bit dark or
whatever. Or enhance the color.
Enhance the colors, and there's just so much you can do with it, right? So what I would normally do when I'm on the go, especially if I don't have my camera handy and I need to catch something, I snap a photo, I immediately go open it in Aviary, and it allows you to do things that professional photographers would do, like editing the brightness, the contrast, the shadowing, the highlights. It allows you to focus on a subject. So, for example, if I had a a wide photo with maybe Marlene on the side, I can focus on her and blur out the background.
So I use Aviary too.
Okay,
and this is like so when you open it, you'd automatically go into your photo gallery. I have a bunch of. And so you have all the enhancing tools right to the bottom. It's so easy.
Yep, and once you have any sort of knowledge of what the different tools can do. But as I mentioned, almost all of these same things are
and there's a great tutorial too. If you go back, you could do like the tutorials here that will tell you exactly how to use the different. I didn't say it right. That will tell you exactly how to use the different effects, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
So.
And it shows you samples of a beginning and end. Yeah. So although it does have a lot of cute filters and stuff like that, I think a lot of you know, the online models, as I refer to them as the Insta models and so on, could make use of this app as well, because it has a lot of filters and stuff like what people like to use these days. So you can use it just for leisure as well. So I recommend anybody have this app. I mean, it's like having Photoshop on your phone. And
again, it's Aviary.
Aviary, photo editor by Aviary, right?
And they're free apps.
This one is free, completely free, right? So
rated at 4 points.
As you can see, someone has this one installed. I guess that was you.
No, it's not for my iPad.
Okay. So yeah, definitely very useful there.
So the next one is, well, so many people use their GoPro now, and you have a great tool to use your GoPro.
QUIK.
Yeah, it's Q. QUIK, no C, by Quick. GoPro. Quick.
Quick by GoPro, there you go.
Okay. Wow.
So Quick by GoPro.
Another free tool.
It's free and also an amazing, amazing tool. This is the one I was using in the green room a minute ago.
Okay.
So if you're like me and you attend a lot of events or you like vlogging and so on, it's definitely a tool that you want to be able to have as you're on the go, because what you can do is you can go into your gallery of photos and videos and on a whim, you can literally edit together an amazing video. It doesn't actually have to be GoPro videos. It was initially designed for people who sync their GoPro with their phone. So if I'm shooting with my GoPro and I'm viewing it on my phone, it saves straight to my phone out of the GoPro, and then I can just edit it together that way. But what it does is it allows you to edit the same way a professional video editor would. So you can take different clips, cut it down to which part you want to show, add in photos and stuff like that. And what it does is it has these amazing transitions. It comes with great stock music and these different themes that you see at the bottom here. So once you choose all the media that you want in the video, it'll then ask you which theme you want, and then it does all the graphic work and stuff for you. And you can literally create a professional looking vlog or video or highlight reel on the go.
You know, it's interesting because we said that this is more for productivity for adults and to remind ourselves of the time. My nephew's in high school, and his presentations, while we used to do PowerPoints, are now videos that they create on the phone. So this is great for the students as well, and you know, they can be able to create fantastic videos to present in class as well.
There's a lot of other, you know, productive video apps and stuff like that, but most of the good ones you have to pay for. There's like Power Director and stuff like that, but that puts like a giant watermark on your screen. With the Quick app from GoPro, you don't have that watermark on your screen during your video. It just has an end scene that says created in Quick, but you can actually get rid of that too for free. You choose if you want to leave it there, basically. I usually do just to give the little recognition that that's what I use for that particular video and to show the range of apps and so on that I use.
All right, so next up we have Weebly.
Okay, Weebly. Weebly is one of my favorite apps because one of the things that I've recently gotten into in the last 5 years or so is web editing and web marketing. So I've actually started building websites using this platform, Weebly, mainly because at the time that I wanted to start building websites, I was looking for a more user-friendly solution than the typical what was out there, Joomla and the other ones. And I came across this app when they were really just starting their business. Now, Weebly is actually a desktop application, but they recently brought out their app, which has made life easy for me. TG Marketing Belize manages about 50 websites for companies in all different sectors of business. And I have found this to be so amazing, so user-friendly. And the app itself is basically a way to edit the websites you've created on your desktop on the go. So, for example, yesterday I was on the road somewhere. One of my clients messaged me. He's like, I desperately need to update my phone to my phone. And I simply just logged on to it on my app, changed it, published it. It was live right away.
Instant it was there.
Nice.
Instant it was there, right? So as long as that one will require net, of course, because you're having to access the back end of the Weebly. But what it also does is that it gives you statistics and stuff. So it has built-in analytics and built-in statistics, so I can go in and see how my website is being frequented. If I have, now there are some features in Weebly that you will have to pay for, not the app itself, but when you're setting up your website, if you want to do e-commerce, there's an additional fee. But what this does is this can tell you how much money you've made off your website today, or you can choose the range of dates that you want to see how much money you've made off your website. It can also tell you exactly where people are visiting your website from. All the same things that you would get in Google Analytics or any other
nice.
Right
form of
right on
So
Weebly.
keep your website up to date by using this app.
Yes, and I'm guilty of not using it enough because my own website needs a little bit of updating, but I think now that I have some awesome pictures and videos on my phone from my
Okay, so
research
we'll be
jobs,
there in just a few.
so probably a little bit later.
So we
today.
could actually, because of these apps, we could actually be sitting here having a conversation, and you could be doing your thing right now.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, it happens all the time. I think a lot of people know me from my role at Beltrade. So there's a lot of times I'm sitting in meetings, and yes, I'm listening, but I'm also getting like updating Beltrade's website or writing a blog for Beltrade, and it's right through the apps that I'm talking about.
Right on your phone.
And folks should
the
know
other one now is really, I think it's becoming a lot more popular and just makes life a lot easier. Dropbox.
Oh, Dropbox. Okay.
And if you're not using Dropbox, here's why you
Yes.
should use it.
Let's see.
Yes, Dropbox. If you're not using Dropbox, what are you doing with your business?
I know.
Especially as
They're still
again,
trying to find flash drives that are big enough to hold their
yeah,
files. That's what they're
exactly.
trying to do.
So Dropbox is an amazing app.
And it's free.
The app is free. Your account is free, and I think it brings I think 2 or 3 gigs of free
you pay
space.
for more storage.
You can pay for more storage, or if you're like me, over time I've built up over 10 gigs of storage by referring people.
Oh.
So there's a referral program. So every time I refer somebody, I get 500 megabytes more. I think they've upped it to a gig now.
Okay.
So every time you
wow.
refer somebody and they sign up, you get a gig.
You get a gig.
So you just have to
Sweet.
go into your app, invite people, just send it to every email address you could think about who might be able to use Dropbox or somebody that you think you might be doing business with, and just send it to them.
Oh.
But what Dropbox does, for those of you who don't know, is Dropbox is a cloud storage account, and it allows you not only to upload files of great size and so on into the Dropbox and share them with people, but it allows you to collaborate as well. So if I have a Dropbox folder named, TG photography, and I want to have somebody else do the editing while I'm out doing more photography, I can share that folder with them, and they can access it, make the changes, and once they save it, I see the changes automatically.
Wow.
So it's great for collaboration. I can see where reporters could use that to send each other write-ups and footage and so on like that. I can see where accountants can use it to send each other Excel sheets and stuff like that. And
once again, we're talking of students. If you have group work to do and you have different elements to put in, you create one special folder for a group and you all share to that one Dropbox.
Yeah, so now there's other similar things like Google Drive, which works the same way and so on, but I've found Dropbox to be a lot more universally known. Well, I mean, Google Drive is known as well, but it's not. I don't think it's used as much as Dropbox is.
Yeah.
Right.
And what it does too, especially, I think, if I'm sending a big file and you don't have enough internet speed to download it fast enough, or I think it just simplifies. I meant to send it out. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
To send it out. Once I have it uploaded, it's easy to just send the link rather than trying to send out an actual file.
Yes, and then also instead of having to be worrying about if, let's say you lose a phone or break a phone or something like that, worrying if your files are going to be recoverable, you can access Dropbox from anywhere. You can either access it through the app or through any browser. You can sign in the browser and all your files are right there just as they would be in the Dropbox app.
That's right.
So definitely this is essential. I think any business person.
So you are Dropbox over Google Drive?
I would say yes on that one.
Okay.
Typically I'm a Google guy in terms of Google apps and so on, but I'm a Dropbox guy over Google Drive.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can get Dropbox accounts that have up to I think I have a terabyte Dropbox account for Beltrade, and I think it's only like 99 US a year.
Yeah,
so
it's not that expensive.
Okay.
And so
but the app is free, and your first 2 gigs or 3 gigs
I
are
remember
free.
what I was going to say. The phones now make it easier too, because you can just automatically go into a file, and one of the options you get is save to your Dropbox.
And one of the things that I love about Dropbox is
simple.
One of the things I love about Dropbox over Google Drive, this is why I use Dropbox instead on my phone, is because the security features that it has. Nowadays, a lot of phones are coming with fingerprint scanning technology or facial recognition and so on. I'm a big fan of the fingerprint technology. And Dropbox adds a layer of security over your phone's layer of security, that you have to use your fingerprint or a passcode to get into the app itself. So if I save something in there and someone finds my phone, manages to bypass my my phone security, the Dropbox app will require my fingerprint.
Okay.
Oh, wow. But you know, the best thing about, of course, learning about all these apps is it actually paves a way as well to entrepreneurship. And I think that's very important. Like, for instance, editing. You find yourself starting to love this. And when you start to love it, it simply means that, you know what, you'll be able to make some money off it.
Definitely.
So entrepreneurship is very important, and these apps seem to be as important as well.
And one of the things that I see in Belize a great need for is more marketers. There needs to be more people who do marketing and editing and being that eye of the company. So I highly recommend anybody who is interested in marketing. Get some of these apps, play around with them, and you never know where it leads. So another favorite of mine, this one is more for leisure than business and so on, but Shazam. A lot of people don't know about this app. I'm surprised.
I didn't know about Shazam.
You will love this app.
Belize,
I'm telling you,
let's hear about this
in
app.
Belize, we're a big culture of listening to music and stuff like that. And Shazam is an app where, imagine you're out in a club and you hear a song. Oh man, I love this song. I've heard it before. I have no idea what it's called.
Record.
You open your phone, hit Shazam, and Shazam will recognize the song for you and tell you the name of the song.
Really?
And it also it'll also give you links to go and listen to it, buy it, you can share it, you know. So and that way you can spread the knowledge of music, because one of the things
it requires internet though.
This one will require internet
to do the searching.
It uses minimal data.
Yeah.
It literally just uses a couple kilobytes of data to recognize the song, and then you decide if you want to share it and stuff like that afterwards. But
it's a free app.
But it's a free app. So I use this one a lot because one of the other hats I wear is as a DJ. I do
everything.
I do special events.
The multi-talented.
Yeah, I do special events and a lot of weddings. And a lot of times I hear a song that I think would be appropriate for a certain event that I have coming up, or an idea that I have to mix or what have you, and I don't know the song. And you know, it's hard these days to keep up with music because it's become so easy to make music now. The same way it's become so easy to do everything else, it's actually become easy to be a musician and learn music, that we have so much music coming out and it's so hard to keep up to date with. Yeah. So every time I hear a song that I haven't heard before, I will go and I will Shazam it, and it pops up. And what Shazam does is it saves a database of all the songs you've Shazammed. Yeah. So then when it's time to go back and buy the music or download the music, it's easy for you to remember which ones.
Go into your history. And even, well, I don't use Shazam, I use SoundHound, but like you can even sing the song sometimes or hum it,
and it recognizes
it. Like if you remember the beat, you can like hum it to the phone, and
it actually recognizes
because it picks up the pattern. It recognizes if you're good at singing or humming.
Yeah, the way Shazam works is that every song is like a fingerprint. It's unique, and Shazam will pick up on the fingerprint of that song, whether it's the original version, a cover version, you humming the song, if it's in the background of something else. Shazam will pick up on it. And you can set your phone, you can actually set your phone to be Shazamming all the time. So any sound that it hears that it recognizes, it will pop up and tell you Shazam recognized the song. And then they'll, ask you if you want to save it in your Shazam list.
Wow.
It's amazing, right? And, I had to throw this one in there because of the DJ thing.
Of course. There are a lot of DJs out there.
So one of the things that I brought this up to say this. For it to recognize the music, the artists and the labels have to input into a Shazam account. Yeah. So I highly recommend any Belizean artist, Belizean producer, anything you do, find out how to get your music on Shazam. And get people Shazamming your stuff.
There you go. So when the tourists come to the country and they hear a Super G in the background and say, I like that song, they can find it out on Shazam.
I think what it is that once you have your music on like Google Play or iTunes or something like that, I think that it'll pick it up. So I encourage artists, please it's a small investment, get your Google Play.
You're going to make me test a Belizean artist song now.
we should totally do it.
Okay, so tell me advantages, because like I said, I use SoundHound instead of Shazam. What's the advantage of Shazam?
I'll be quite honest, I'm not that familiar with SoundHound, but I do know that Shazam is a lot more universal than most apps that do the same thing. Okay. I know of people who are going to school in Taiwan who use Shazam to Shazam music over there, and they will Shazam it and send it to me and be like, check this out, you need to hear this. Because obviously on this side of the world we don't, but they have dance hall over there, and they have hip hop, and they have, obviously they have EDM and that kind of thing. Yeah. But when they hear a dancehall song in a Taiwanese version or a Chinese version, they'll send it to me and say, check this out, you should mix this in with the original and see how it works out. And a lot of times I play around with it and stuff, but it's very helpful when you have like people in other countries who want you to hear something as well too. It's a lot more universal in terms of music available to be Shazammed, because not every song is Shazamable if they don't put it on the.
I like the way you use that word though, Shazamable.
Yeah, it's
Shazaming.
It's exactly. It's literally, and that was a brilliant marketing move on their part too, because if you can make your company name become a verb, you've done something right. It's similar to say, it's when people say WhatsApp me.
Yeah.
WhatsApp me. Remember the first time you heard that? What do you mean WhatsApp?
Google that.
Yeah.
Send me on WhatsApp. WhatsApp me.
You know when people used to say what's up?
Yeah.
Now they know it's WhatsApp.
Now we still do it.
Now we know, because that's another.
And
I could have put that on a list too, but that's so universal now. I think everybody knows about WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So apps are very important.
What's also good too, well, WhatsApp is very good, but there are also some really, really great privacy apps too, messaging apps that I think are cool, that ensure more safety than most of the stuff that you use on your phone.
Yeah. I typically I use WhatsApp because it's encrypted now, so it's very safe sending from person to person with WhatsApp. It never used to be like that before, but they added that encryption on it, so people can't just like hackers can't just grab it out the air into their phone, because for people who don't understand what encryption is, basically whatever you're sending gets broken up into a zillion bytes and gets put together on your end. Right? So they can't just grab it.
I remember following the storm, one of the hurricanes as well, that one of the Caribbean countries, they were asking people to use FireChat, which is also a messaging app, but it doesn't require internet, so it really helps people to get reconnected as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, you know, I think the bottom line is just embrace technology. Yes, if you go on a Google Play site or an app store, you will find a lot of games and a lot of silly stuff, and that's fine to kill time, but there are a lot of productivity stuff that can be used as well. Definitely. And I'm sure if we look in your phone, you have tons of apps that are very helpful to you, but we're so grateful that you brought in these few to help us out.
Sure, no problem. And if I could just put in a final word here.
Sure.
Since we had Wilson on the last segment, I had a conversation with an up-and-coming artist over the holiday, and he was asking me, how can I get my music out there? How can I, why aren't people listening to this? And he has great music. It's just that the marketing game of artists in Belize is, sorry to say, is nothing compared to what artists out in the Caribbean and the US are doing. You need to up your game as a marketer, and most of these people, although they have the appearance of having an entire marketing team behind them, it's just them, sitting in their couch doing the right things, getting the right apps on their phone, pushing their stuff out in the right direction, and making that small investment to have your music on Google Play and iTunes and everywhere else it needs to be. There's so many other platforms for music out there, but I think one of the things that we need to do in Belize is embrace streaming of music, because it's the future. Music is no longer going to be downloaded, definitely not going to be on CDs. I can't remember the last time I popped a CD in my stereo. Actually, one of my stereos doesn't even have a CD player. My home stereo doesn't even have a CD player.
The laptops don't even have
and laptops don't come with CD
or
players
DVD players anymore.
Although I do support Belizean artists, like somebody offers me a CD, I'll buy it and listen to it. But what I'll do is I'll rip it to digital form right away. I'll never listen. I'll listen to that once, never listen to the CD again. I'll always be in a digital form after that.
But I think for Belizean artists, we stop at Facebook and YouTube, and that's it.
That's not true. They use SoundCloud, and I know quite a number of artists are on iTunes as well. So I don't want to say that they don't.
The thing with that,
don't do it.
The thing with that is, if you don't market that you're on those platforms, nobody knows. So I can have, the best song in the world, and nobody knows because I don't market it properly. So even though you do maybe need help from a professional marketer sometimes, once they show you things that you can do yourself, it makes life a lot easier for you getting things out.
All right.
So
thank you so much, and we hope that people have been able to, especially those who needed a bit of converting, have been able to see how you can be productive on your phone. And we appreciate you stopping in.
All right, no problem. Thank you very much for having me.
All the best. Always nice to see you.
Thanks. Always a pleasure being here.
We're going to go ahead now and take our final break, and when we come back, we'll have our wrap-up, so stay tuned.